everyone, and welcome back to Spacebase DF-9, or maybe probably the first one. This game is made by Double Fine.
Yep.
It's currently in mid-alpha, I'd say, and it has a lot of stuff that many of its predecessors that were trying to also copy Dwarf Fortress don't have yet, and it's probably one of the best renditions of a game of its type that I've seen.
It is pretty great. But yeah, hey, that's Morath and I'm Duhad, and we're coming to you once again after a ridiculously long hiatus from the last time we made a video to bring you Spacebase DF-9.
And I do apologize for the window borders.
They can't actually see that. Fraps doesn't record them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, Fraps just records the game. You could play the game in any resolution and in any sort of window, and they would not see it.
Awesome. In which case, you can't
ignore what he just said.
You can't see it, it doesn't exist. Anyway.
We are professionals, we know exactly what we're doing. Ooh.
I'm not new at this at all.
But yes. Yeah, so Spacebase DF-9, we actually did a recording of a base that kind of fell apart immediately. We might put that up just to explain, have a video explaining the basics of this game, but we'll go over them one more time pretty quickly for you guys right now. This is a game in the grand style of Dwarf Fortress, where you are building a base in space, full of little people who you do not directly control, but you do give orders to, and who have needs and wants that you have to kind of babysit to prevent them from going crazy and destroying everything or dying.
What are you talking about? This isn't in fucking space. Anyway.
Morath here is going to talk you through the basics of base construction and basically show you what this game's all about, because he knows way more about it than I do.
Yes. There is a new thing that is... that I'm not used to. Oh wait, I should probably set all these guys to builders.
Yeah, we should also probably point out this is just after the release of Alpha 6A.
Yes. So, some new things that were added since the last time I played is that now your workers have preferred jobs, which you can actually see this time in a minute. And they will get all these smiley faces, and most people don't like working, so they won't have a job that they're like super smiley faced about. But
as long as they're doing a job that they don't hate, they don't get unhappy too quickly. Though, oftentimes you'll end up with a worker who really hates doing a job they're pretty good at.
Yes.
Problematic.
Like, two guys here like to be builders. This guy's an awful builder. He's a damn good bartender, though, but he won't like it that much.
Oh, man.
Luckily, Greg Storm is just above the level of not being completely awful at being a technician.
Which is going to be useful.
Yeah, because...
Hey, we got a scientist who likes being a scientist. That's awesome.
This time. Although... Wait, which one was that?
Corbo,
yes.
Put the other. I'm behind by like 15 seconds, so yeah. I'm sort of in a weird position.
Yeah, he likes being a scientist, and I'll eventually switch him over to that, but he's also our best builder, and he likes that job.
Yep.
So we'll keep him
Corbo's Chobra is a really positive, forward-thinking guy. He likes doing almost everything. He doesn't really like being a botanist, and he doesn't care for technicians at all, but he's kind of crap at those jobs anyway, so who cares? Unlike Greg grudgingly puts up with like 2 duties, and then the rest of the things he's just like, about.
Well, he does like being a technician, so we're alright with that.
Yeah, the only job that good old Chorbo won't do. Cobra. And then there's Eva. She's also kind of a miserable person. It's only like Alien Man is actually a decent, hardworking, and fun-loving sort of worker.
This is true.
So you're planning on setting up this initial room here, which I'm assuming is the airlock?
Yes, it is the airlock. I usually make it 5x3. This is big enough to hold number of people and have 2 airlock doors, as well as the airlock suit locker.
So what's the value in an airlock?
You don't get sucked out into space whenever you open a door.
That sounds useful, but aren't they wearing spacesuits?
Well, again, they have a... You're being chastising.
No, I'm trying to get you to explain the various details about what you're doing, because we're probably not going to put up that first recording where we actually explained all this shit.
Yes, this is true. You take off your spacesuits because you only have about 8 minutes of air to start off the game.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, especially because, you know, it'll take us a bit to get the life support systems up and running. Although, to be fair, it seems like something I noticed on the end of the last recording, we don't necessarily need the life support systems to be powered right away.
Interesting. So the base has like a degree of inherent power that it can kind of run basic systems on right off the bat?
Correct.
Cool. Alright, so we set up these airlocks and stuff so that they can get out of their suits and walk around the base unhindered and with oxygen in a comfortable environment. And so that they can then also get out of the base again in order to work in space using these spacesuits.
Mm-hmm.
Useful stuff.
Yes, it is.
What are the other things, like just basic needs that we're going to be trying to fulfill in this first episode? Like, what are some of the stuff that these poor builders are going to want to be able to do in their new home?
Well, they're going to want to eat.
I know I do.
So, now granted, they're going to want to eat well. I can't give them that right away, because they are going to want to sleep. However, they're going to need power, and they're going to need a method for processing the matter that they're picking up.
Okay, so how are they going to do that?
First thing we're going to produce is a 5x5 room for the refinery. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that that is something that we can still... Alright, so we're going to go to...
And the matter refinery is how they take this raw matter and turn it into building material?
Correct.
Ah.
And... Okay, so I'm not sure exactly how big it is. Okay, so this is still small enough that I can put in a 5x5 room. So we will be creating a 5x5 room for that as well.
Okay.
It seems also that we need lights, which I will get once I have the refinery, because that way I can set one of them to be a miner. Although, let's see who wants to be a miner.
So the priority list right now seems to be refinery, life support, power,
and then lodgings.
And then lodgings. Okay.
The thing that we're going to have to give them right off the bat is one of these oxygen recyclers. And it seems like it's 1 per 3 without power. You can set up 4 in this room, so that will make it 12.
Okay.
And I don't know if the power helps that at all.
I don't know. Power, I think, was added in the last patch. As I said, I've not actually played this game, but I have been keeping up on the patches because I've been waiting for it to reach a point of completion where it is worth the price. And as it is right now on Steam, it is on 50% sale, only $12, and with a pretty decent, recent patch, I'd say it's actually probably at the point where I'm sold. I want the game.
Now you see how the CO2 capacity just increased to 3 people? This means that our people can now go inside.
Oh, awesome. And I'm guessing that when you get more people, you're going to need to increase that capacity by getting more... excuse me, more or better life support systems?
Correct.
Awesome.
Now we're going to construct another room. This one will also be 5x5.
Makes sense. And this will be the power room?
The refinery.
Oh, right, the refinery,
Because
right.
the one thing that screwed us up last time is the fact that it wasn't able to be big enough for the power. The power, I'm gonna make an offshoot of these two rooms and make it 10 by 10.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll be able to fit multiple power systems in there.
That sounds like it makes sense. I believe the description in the patch notes said something about the power basically running. You don't need wires or anything right now. You basically just need to make sure that the power runs through rooms. Like any powered room will connect to another room, giving it power, and so on and so forth through your base. So as long as there's a series of rooms connected, all connected together, the generator will power the whole base.
And I'm putting in a food replicator now, which you may notice has air quotes around it.
Okay.
Because, can we really call it food? It's a replicator.
Yeah, it doesn't sound all that good. So what can our poor people eat that is not going to make them wish to God they hadn't actually sent themselves off into space?
Eventually we will get a botanist garden.
Oh, fun. So we'll be able to grow some, cabbages and carrots and tomatoes and stuff like that?
Yep, eventually we will be able to grow an assortment of different things. Please
awesome.
tell me the third guy got into his suit. Okay, all three of them got into their suits before the guy opened the airlock. That is something that they used to not do early on, so I had one guy stuck in an airlock.
Fucking
unable
murderers.
to get out when they opened the door.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
That is how I lost my first person in Spacebase DF-9.
That's Dwarf Fortress for you.
Similarly, I lost my fisherman in Dwarf Fortress, was the first guy I lost, because he pulled up a gigantic carp.
Oh. Yeah, carps. I do wonder if they'll eventually add in carps to Spacebase DF-9 or some sort of space equivalent of that, because goddamn, those things are horrifying. They do nothing but swim all day long, forever. And for those of you who've never played Dwarf Fortress or who played before the carps got patched, one of the things about that is every single creature in Dwarf Fortress works on a perfectly balanced level scaling system. So they even the smallest creatures can work to increase their skills. One of those skills happened to be strength, which could be increased by increasing your skill in swimming. Another skill that strength governed is wrestling. Okay. So if a dwarf happened to Hey, why don't you explain?
I will get there in a second. You will see it in a moment. There is a ship that has exited subspace super space nearby and is attempting to hail us.
Oh shit. So I guess this is what that being close to a warp gate thing meant.
Yep. This is where we're gonna get our first new folk. Greetings, we are from the 6th Galatravonics sector in the Vorpulon quadrant.
The Nertus Vorpulons.
Yeah. We've just awoken from our cryogenesis after 10,000 years or so of cruising around on autopilot. We need a place to stay. Do you have room aboard your base?
No, send them away, goddamn immigrants.
We're gonna take them because I can use some extra hands on deck.
Oh, fine. So this will be overburdening your life support systems, won't it?
Yes. Luckily, we do have some matter to build a new one and some new stuff.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're going to go into Object and Life Support and throw in a new oxygen recycler.
Awesome, and so the capacity goes up to accommodate your new citizens.
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. But this seems like a good opportunity, like a good time as any to, once you get that power set up, to start setting up places for your people to live and sleep and eat in.
Yes.
As your population is growing.
All right, let's look at our new people right now. So there's a guy who would be really, really good at mining, but he doesn't want to do it. Quilu Wisely. Things he likes to do is build, so we're going to move him to being a builder. And they both seem to like to build. This is good, because builders, if you keep on growing, you'll need new stuff exponentially quickly. One of them also likes to be a miner, and their skills will go up, and miner is one of those jobs that even if you have a 1 in it, it's still doable. And
Hey, that
you won't get penalized too hard for it.
Queely Wisely also seems to be a at least proficient doctor, your most skilled doctor, and someone who actually enjoys the doctoring lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps later on he might be a useful person to train as a doctor?
Once we get the infirmary set up, that will be what I will switch him to.
Excellent. I know I feel better being in the harsh depths of space surrounded on all sides by an uncaring vacuum, knowing that there's at least someone who doesn't hate being a doctor nearby.
We're also going to throw in the refinery.
Yay! I forgot about that.
Yep. I've also switched one of the guys to a technician.
So what do the technicians do?
They repair your equipment, like this food replicator and these oxygen recyclers will need repair on occasion.
Okay, that sounds like a good thing to not have breaking on you.
Correct. And so will the refinery, actually. You will need a lot of technicians as your base grows, but right now we can make do with one, and seeing as how there's only one dude who won't hate the job, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so. So the miners mine, the engineers, the builders build, the technicians repair things, the doctors, I guess, go around the base healing people or taking care of injuries as they occur. And then I guess the scientists research stuff?
Scientists do research, in fact. That is their thing.
Cool. And security go around and arrest people and defend the base against invaders, and I guess the botanists grow the plants that you use to feed your people?
Exactly.
And bartenders?
Bartenders work bar. They work in the food industry, they prepare food and stuff, and keep your people with high morale. I'm going to set up a mining order for this asteroid over here.
Okay.
And that way it will send people to mine that right away.
Awesome. So this new large expansion that you're building, what is that going to be?
That is going to be the power center.
Ah, cool. And so on the other side, you will set up the living areas, and
those will go in 5x5 spaces. I'll probably put them on either the other around this power system and stuff. That way, it helps them do stuff.
Do the people like having their own rooms, or do they not mind being clumped up into big communal barracks living areas?
They actually enjoy having their own stuff, and you'll find some people are better about it than others, apparently. I don't know that much about it, because the happiness system is actually relatively new.
Yeah, more than fair.
And what can affect their happiness is also changing.
It's the joys of an alpha game that gets updated every month.
Mm-hmm. I've actually been surprised about how good they've been about it.
Yeah, no, totally. I've seen plenty of games that have been kickstarted or are in early access that I've been really kind of flaky as to how they get updated, but Spacebase has been pretty consistent. As I said, earlier on I was a little unsure about some of the, very, very early builds of the game, but they've really been chugging along quite nicely.
Yep.
And
derelict has appeared. This is a new one too.
Ooh, okay. So what can you do with a derelict?
Derelicts often come with things that you can deconstruct, like ship engines and the rooms inside of it.
Awesome. But is there any danger to just scavenging a derelict? Are there benefits to being cautious about it?
You definitely want to be cautious about it. You want to send at least one security guy over there to check and make sure that there aren't any aliens inside.
Oh man.
I'm guessing that's a thing now. I actually don't know. They didn't used to be any danger to looking through a derelict.
Alright, well, maybe assign some people on security if you have any guns, and
You start out, they tend to start out with them.
Okay, so I know you can like use scientists to research better guns and armor, but I guess yeah, you probably start with
Basics.
basic phasers.
Mhm.
Cool.
And wait, you got a mine. And then we're going to check out this derelict. We're going to set a beacon here,
All right.
and that will mean that we can. And, oh, this is new. Force levels. I'm going to use necessary force.
Oh yeah, apparently that was. I was just reading about that in the new patch notes. As I said, they just came out very, very recently. You can set, 3 levels of force: non-lethal, only necessary lethality, or just straight up full-on lethal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's partly like how you want to deal with threats, like big nasty aliens. Obviously, you just want to deal with lethally. Whereas, rioting citizens that you want to toss in the brig, probably you just want to stick with non-lethality.
Yes. And as he goes through here, I'm going to claim the zones. This will allow me to actually use them.
Oh, hey, there's a person in there.
Yes, I do not know if they are evil or not.
Yeah, and they're putting on a spacesuit. There's a couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to be friendly since they seem to have joined your colony.
Yep. It seems that way. Let's check our roster. Oh, they have. So we're gonna set... Ooh, this person's really bad at being a technician. So you have a guy that's gonna be good at being a botanist.
That's certainly useful.
Yep, that will be very useful. And somebody who's going to be good at being a bartender, but they really, really want to be a builder. Or a scientist. Scientists, I'm not sure how good that will go. I'm going to make him a builder.
Well, you already got a guy who's got 3 in science and is in love with the idea of that job.
Yes. He's also decent at security, which is why he was able to do this. And this guy wants to be a scientist. But will enjoy being a technician, and since we have a good enough technician to keep things from exploding, we'll let him skill up in that department.
Sounds like a plan.
Also, it seems that these two already have residences.
And those would probably be the residences that you're planning on tearing down for space debris.
Eventually, but right now it also works as a temporary residence, so that we have to make fewer at the moment.
That makes sense.
Yes. A ship has exited subspace nearby. It's attempting to hail us.
Yeah, I guess the downside to maintaining the ship is that you have to send technicians all the way over to a totally different satellite station, and it'll be harder to power, but for the time being, it's probably not that much of an issue.
Yeah. So, these guys are saying they're not raiders. Should we trust them?
Don't know. You've got 7 people. You might be able to repel them even if they are raiders.
Yep. Docking now, new friends. No, they're raiders.
Oh shit.
Pausing.
This was a terrible mistake. I blame you. Your executive decisions led to this.
Alright. We are going to pause, roster, turn everybody into security.
Damn fine plan.
And then increase the number of beacons and set it to non-lethal or necessary force.
Oh my. Oh man, you're just sending everything over there?
I'm sending 4 people.
Oh man. Oh man. Battle stations, folks. Are they shooting?
There was nobody there?
What the heck? Something's fishy about this.
Yeah, you're telling me.
But hey, free spaceship.
Beds.
Hey, and it's connected directly onto your spaceship. Onto your space base.
And it's also got its own life support area.
Awesome. This, seems pretty okay. A little odd, but, hey, alright.
Yes. I'm okay with this.
Well, hey, on the as you said, on the upside, new beds, an additional life support system, basic power. Like, this is a pretty snazzy little addition.
Yes. Alright, so we had our miner, our builder, our technician, our other technician, and we had you on that. We're going to switch you back to building.
You might want to make some sort of way to get onto this new unexpected addition to your base that doesn't revolve around walking through someone's brand new bedroom or
it has an airlock on the other side.
Or spacewalking, I was going to say.
But they don't really care if people walk through it. At least not as far as I know. But I will eventually. I'm eventually going to tear it down once I get loading for anybody anyway. So.
Okay, so you don't want this all this clutter. You're just using it temporarily, so you don't have to worry about as much of the housing issues.
Exactly.
Or fair.
Okay, now everybody's going back to work.
Goddamn hippies! This strike's over. Everyone back to work. So they'll finish up building the power rooms and then start working on the new accommodation, so you can start dismantling these two odd derelicts that have been...
Well, I'm going to keep them for a little bit, just so that we can use the housing. And once the housing has been... Once I have made enough housing for everybody...
Right, as I said, once you've got the housing set up on your own base, then it's time to scrap all this and use the materials for, I guess, food processing and all that stuff. Excellent. Farming for everyone. I'd say you've had a pretty lucky start so far.
That we have. Okay, so now we're going to construct object, all zones, put a door in here, and while we're at it, another thing you want to have is these fire extinguishers. You want to put them friggin' everywhere.
And why would you want that? He asked, obviously kind of guessing at the answer.
Because otherwise things will be put on fire.
So what type of things can start fires? Is it like The Sims where a badly cooked meal will set everything on fire, or are there disasters of some sort that will light
poorly
blazes?
Taking care of machinery. Like, one of the things is a badly cooked meal wouldn't necessarily do it, but one from an unclean oven would.
So the technicians, having adequate technicians will help prevent fires.
Correct.
Makes sense.
Not sure what a dark matter reactor is, but that sounds dangerous. Let's just try a fusion reactor for now.
Probably it's a much more powerful version of the reactor, or your much larger type bases.
Yep.
Once you start setting up side bases, side areas for your science labs and your all that, your infirmaries and your ecology gardens and your bars, you'll want all the power and oxygen you can manage.
Some dudes want to join our base, Asa.
Oh, wow. Really?
They say our base seems kind of cool. I mean, kinda. I don't know. I mean, it could do with some improvements if you catch my drift. But whatever. We can hang, maybe.
Seem like alright chaps, and as I said before, you got 7 people, you should be able to hold off any sort of early aggression from space pirates, especially space hipster pirates.
They wanted a place to put their stuff. Okay, so now we're going to put in more life support. 2 more oxygen recyclers.
Hey, man, this place is looking like a real happening place.
It is. It's got a lot of people coming in. I'm also going to set up new mining orders.
Yeah, I'd say at this point you really need less of the getting stuff together to make sure you have everything you need for a functioning base, and more about stuff to keep these surprisingly large number of new immigrants from being too upset. Yeah,
it's time to start building a lot.
Yeah.
Alright, so we've got one newt guy, and he doesn't want to be a builder. He'd be unhappy being a technician. He'd be happy being a scientist, and he won't be too bad at that.
Alright.
He'd also be happy being a doctor, but he's only got 1 star in that, and honestly, 1-star doctor.
Yeah, we already got someone who wants to be a doctor and who's got some ability.
Mm-hmm. So, we will put him on scientist duty later. Right now, he's not going to become too happy at not being being a miner at the moment, and we need more miners.
Well, I think as long as they're not unhappy, you're basically okay.
Yeah. Next thing we're going to do is create lodging.
Yeah, I think like the modifier is like how much of a boost it affects their mood, in addition to everything else that's happening. So a really happening awesome base can support people doing jobs they're not in love with for a long period of time, whereas a not so together base where you're still setting everything up and are still trying to get everyone lodgings and proper accommodations and all this stuff is a base that probably could benefit from trying to make sure everyone is doing things that are more or less what they'd like to do.
Yeah. This new area here is going to be our new... Oh no, people are brawling in the reactor zone.
Uh-oh. I think,
Greg Storm and Talitha Dent. Oh.
Greg, you asshole. Get someone on dedicated security duty to break up that fight. You also might want to set up a brig.
Mm-hmm.
A small one for the time being will probably do. Just a small room with a bed in it so they can sit in there and cool down.
Yep. Most of these people are unhappy because they don't have stuff to do.
That's true.
Place where they live.
So maybe you just need someone to non-lethally give them a stun.
Yep.
Later on, once you've actually got enough set up that people won't be too upset, normally we can start worrying about trying to make sure they're able to have a good place to toss, miscreants.
Yep.
Ammo is just set to non-lethal for the time being. Going in and gunning down these two would probably be entertaining, but not really all that useful. But definitely prioritizing getting everyone some beds and trying to make sure they have something to keep their minds off of the seething hatred they have for one another will be useful. Oof. Maybe also getting a doctor sooner than later.
Yes. That is... After this brig is complete, which is what we have to do, because...
Yeah, this douche nozzle.
we weren't able to make it in time.
That's fine. It's fine. He'll just have
Actually,
to have
I will have to make this into the infirmary.
Oh, that'll do. I think you can just like lock up prisoners just about anywhere. So you could probably take one of those side rooms from one of the ships that you'll eventually destroy, and make it a temporary brig.
There is this unassigned area here,
This is true.
which we can make a brig.
And the idea with the brig is that the security officers will like drag them to the brig and then put them in it, and then the door is locked and cannot be opened by people in the brig. Like the prisoners, as long as they're a prisoner. Yeah, and in fact, actually, this Starlink ship is a pretty perfect location for for a temporary prison. And the nice thing is, like, since there are 2 bedrooms in it anyway, they won't even really be that uncomfortable of a place, and the prisoners will be able to calm down rather than growing increasingly rambunctious.
Okay, we need more matter before we make a bed for the infirmary.
Well, there's asteroids still to mine, so...
Yep, and we just got enough, so we're gonna make that.
Excellent. Good, because that guy does not look like he's doing so well. Thing about the way he's lying face down in the middle of a
next to
bare mill door.
Next to the most likely not so good reactor to be laying next to? Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Alright, now who are we gonna assign to doctor duty?
I think we had like one guy who's both pretty good at it and, really liking the idea of doing that job. Who was that?
Quilu.
Quilu. Dr. Quilu. Hell of a man. Hell of a doctor. Well, okay, he's not exactly overjoyed at the prospect, but he likes it. He likes it. It's a good thing to do, and it pays well. Though, yeah, we'll definitely probably need to set up a proper now we have a brig, we'll probably have to have a dedicated security force just to make sure that any more miscreants are taken care of before they can hospitalize our poor staff. It's a sad day when a civilization of 8 people requires 1 dedicated doctor and 1 dedicated cop. But these are the space days we live in. Hopefully the doctor eventually decides that actually taking care of his new patient is a priority, but...
Well, he doesn't have a bed to bring him into.
Oh, right, it's not been built yet, it's been commissioned. Right. Like how we have exactly 1 guy who actually likes being a cop. Like, no one else is... we have a couple of people who are okay at it, and a few people are neutral on the concept, but we only have 1 person who's got that level of, hardened, psychopathy that, drives them to really want to, enjoy being on people. And it's the 1 guy who's just in love with literally anything that isn't being a technician. Also apparently really smart, because he's a ridiculously good scientist.
Yeah.
I guess he was a nerd when he was growing up, and he's now kind of, dedicated himself to the scientific arts, but has always really wanted to just get back in the community. Oh, well, hey, Cripple seems to have managed to get himself back on his own feet.
He has.
Given enough time.
You're a bit behind. He is now in the reviver bed.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. He was, I wasn't sure him walking around was such a good idea. Oh my god, these poor people. And his brutal attacker is still walking free.
Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to send her to the brig right now because it's not in the middle of the fight. But
yeah. Next time. Next time they will be prepared. We have your number, Misty. There's only 8 people on this goddamn space base. We remember.
Oh no. I'm glad nobody's in the brig right now.
Oh god.
Space debris is incoming.
Uh-oh.
It's not overly dangerous. It'll hit in the area that it's in, but it will usually just pepper it and hurt some machines, but nothing that, you know, the people that are there can't take care of.
Oh, that's fine then. I mean, yeah, it's like if it hit the brig while someone was in there and killed them. Oh shit. But yeah, you seem to actually have this thing relatively locked down. I mean, murderous rampages and occasional attacks by possible pirates who then just leave their tiny ships for you to have for free aside.
Oh wow, look at that technician go!
Man, it's a dedicated little bastard. Man, they're just, you know, they're just working it. Yeah. So this, you know, like the bedrooms you're planning on making. When is your plan on making those? Because I get a bad feeling about, you know, leaving these increasingly psychotic people to their own devices without any way of.
Yeah, they're currently being. I'm constructing one right now.
Okay, so that thing that you're building is going to be the first bedroom.
Yep.
The first true bedroom.
And I'm setting another one to be built. They're going to be off the infirmary, for the most part, and then there's on this side, on the other side from the infirmary and the living quarters, I'm going to create the bar and the botany area.
Double awesome.
Yeah.
The botany area will provide better quality food that the people will enjoy eating more, and the bar will give them a place to prepare and serve said food.
Yep.
And I guess after that comes a, you know, some sort of science lab.
Mm-hmm. The science lab is where you can do research. I'm not quite sure how the research system works, so we're not...
I'm sure we'll all figure that out together.
But I think this first residence is a good place to call it.
Excellent. Well, we'll see you guys for the next video. We've got our space base basically set up. So next time we'll be trying to figure out the mysteries of science and building a space base that people actually want to live in without murdering each other. Hope to see you there.
Bye.